Thank you for this opportunity. The Rotary Foundation can be complex, so I'd like to give a general history and overview for our newer members and a refresher for us seasoned Rotarians. We have a vision of changing the world for the better, and that includes us as we reach out together, living Rotary's motto of service above self and the Rotary Foundation's motto of doing good in the world. The Rotary Foundation, lovingly acronymed TRF, is the financial engine that fuels so many of our projects. The Rotary Foundation is us. It is our foundation. We have some staff, but every level of decision-making has volunteers just like us who make sure we are stewarding our members' contributions well. The Rotary Foundation's mission is to advance world understanding, goodwill, and peace by improving health, providing quality education, improving the environment, and alleviating poverty. And these are projects we design in our clubs in collaboration with local and international clubs. What other charity do you give to that gives you money back to do the projects that are important to you and your club? Our foundation is a charity you can trust. We are recognized by numerous rating agencies with the highest marks for transparency, accountability, and the amount of money that actually goes to the projects. Charity Navigator, which monitors over 5,000 charities, says this charity's score is 100%, earning it a 4-star rating. If this organization aligns with your passions and values, you can give with confidence. So we're responsible leaders, which means being both efficient and trustworthy. We average between 88 and 91% of our funding for programs in an industry where the average is only 65%. Our organization started with the vision of just one man, Paul Harris. He founded Rotary as a network of like-minded, ethical businessmen of integrity, and it became one of the world's first service organizations. Little did they know this simple idea would have such a profound impact on the world. A year later, they donated a horse to a local preacher and led a campaign to build a public restroom in downtown Chicago. In 1917, RI President Arch C. Clump proposed an endowment fund for the purpose of doing good in the world. The fund received its first contribution of only $26.50 from the Rotary Club of Kansas City, Missouri. By 1928, when the endowment fund had grown to more than $5,000, it was renamed the Rotary Foundation. In 1930, the first grant of $500 was made to the organization, which later became Easter Seals, and our first program, the Ambassadorial Scholar Program, began in 1947. There are two sides to the foundation, the program side and the giving side. Every Rotarian is encouraged to contribute something every year to the Rotary Foundation, or TRF. These dollars are invested for 3 years, and the interest funds most of the administrative costs of the foundation. After 3 years, the district gets back almost half of all that we have donated, called District Designated Funds, or DDF, and the other half goes into the World Fund. We divide our half again and make half of it available for district grants. These grants match club dollars up to $2,500 for our smaller local or international projects. The other half is reserved for global grant matching funds. These are international projects with a minimum value of $30,000. They must be in one of our 7 areas of focus, and they have other stewardship, sustainability, and collaboration requirements. But these projects are also eligible for an additional percentage match from that money we left in the World Fund. Those dollars are also used to fund Global Grant Scholars, Polio Plus, and the Peace Centers. District grants are used to fund small-scale, short-term projects with active club involvement. They address needs in either local or international communities. In 24-25, we awarded $135,000 in 5 district grants, and we used it all by January. The first round of grants matches club dollars up to $2,500, and the second round, which begins November 1st, matches up to $2,000. We have almost $40,000 more available this year due to a very good giving year when Steve Williams was our district governor. If your club meets $100 or more per capita giving to the Rotary Foundation, you are eligible for a 1-to-1 match on your district grant projects. But even if a club doesn't meet that threshold of giving to the Rotary Foundation, it is still eligible to have club dollars matched at 50% on your district grant projects. From holiday baskets to books for kids, backpacks, parks, coats, gardens of hope, clinics, hygiene products to keep girls in school, scholarships, ecologically sound wood stoves, wheelchairs, mobile dental services, medical supplies, or peace poles, a district grant can double your club's contribution to a project up to $2,500. Global grants are large international projects that are sustainable with measurable outcomes. Including rollover funds from previous years, we had almost $350,000 to spend on global grants last year. Rotary International is encouraging us to spend that rollover that we are now calling Aging DDF within 5 years. And we were very intentional about doing that, spending not only last year's award, but $50,000 of our aging funds as well. We have over $250,000 available this year. Remember, global grants are a minimum of $30,000. Multiple clubs must collaborate with both funds and involvement in global grants. This slide shows how a global grant is normally funded. Say you have a group of 3 clubs and you've raised $20,000 for your project. District DDF will match that up to $20,000, and the World Fund will match that at 80% for another $16,000. So you have a $56,000 project. However, I showed you earlier about rollover, or what we're now calling Aging DDF. About 5 years ago, the trustees of the foundation saw that there were some districts using all their DDF and others were not using any. So there was all this money out there not doing good in the world. So they established a new policy that we would have a 5-year limit to spend our DDF. And if we didn't, at the end of 5 years, we could choose to transfer it to Polio Plus, the Peace Centers, the World Fund, or disaster relief. And if we did not choose, it would revert to the World Fund to be used where needed most. Since we have some rollover dollars, the District Grants Committee got together to explore ways to be sure that we got to determine how we wanted to spend the funds. And one of the decisions was that we would match clubs' funds at 1.5 to get some of our projects in implementation. And it has been an incentive for our clubs to move forward more quickly on their projects and has gotten some projects into application mode when all they needed was a little more money. So for that same $20,000 investment, you now have a $74,000 project. We used most of our oldest rollover last year, with $25,000 going to Polio Plus, $20,000 to the Peace Centers, some to fund those global grant projects, and a donation to disaster relief. All our global grant projects must fit in our 7 areas of focus. Year after year, the most popular area for a global grant is disease prevention and treatment, followed by water and sanitation. Our district is a leader in international activity in global grants, both in leading our own projects and collaborating with other districts on their projects. To share them all is another program. We have current or recently finished water and sanitation projects in Kenya, Haiti, Tanzania, Uganda, Cambodia, and Colombia. Excellent projects benefiting girls and women. One was teaching ostracized teen mothers in Kenya to sew so that they could support their children. Another is a post-high school project offering internships and college prep for Indigenous girls in Guatemala who traditionally have no opportunity to participate in the formal economy. It was met with great success, with some entering the workforce and some entering universities with scholarships, even in the U.S. In Nepal, we just wrapped up a project targeting violence against women. We're also serving subsistence women farmers in Uganda with training and storage to protect their grain from mold and pests so they don't go hungry between harvests. We've started the first emergency dispatch system for a remote mountainous region in Nepal, and it's literally saving lives. We provided a mobile emergency clinic for Ukraine. We raised enough money in our district to fund our own, plus help a district in California to fund theirs too. These are just a few. Global grants can also fund scholarships for career-minded professionals for 1 to 4 years of graduate level study in one of our 7 areas of focus. District 5100 funded a scholar for 3 years of studies in genetics and genomics at the University of Edinburgh, Scotland. Josh Rogers from Silverton focused on the genetics of why respiratory viruses affect some people more adversely than others, aligning with the disease prevention and treatment area of focus. He's our first global grant scholar and will open applications for a new scholar in January. So last year we completed 95 district grants for both local and international projects with a total project value, including club funds and DDF, of almost $350,000. We had 6 new global grants approved, valued at over $600,000 for almost $1 million in total value. It's difficult to capture the value of all the projects we have our hands in around the world. But we also had global grant projects in process, some back to 2017, that we're still working on or were completed this past year. For a grand total of project value of over $4 million throughout our communities and the world. That's a lot of value, with Rotary Foundation dollars extending the value of what we raise for our projects, and we had 77% of our clubs participate. These aren't just dollars. They represent changed lives and even saved lives, and individuals and communities with new opportunities to prosper and thrive. The third grant program is Programs of Scale, which are large-scale, high-impact programs that have already demonstrated success, and they're scaling to benefit even more people. There's an application process that culminates in the program being chosen in June. What started as Rotarians' request to be able to help hurricane victims in 2017-18 has grown into numerous funds dedicated to assist with military conflict, hurricanes, tornadoes, wildfires, earthquakes, and more. Disaster relief grants are $25,000. Their short-term named funds are sometimes established, but most gifts are to a pool to be used where needed most. The Hurricane Melissa Fund opened just 2 weeks ago. In our last completed annual report, Rotarians around the world implemented 1,876 projects for a value of $108 million. Since it was founded more than 100 years ago, the foundation has spent more than $4 billion on life-changing sustainable projects, and these don't include the Peace Centers or Polio Plus, which we will look at next. To honor Paul Harris on the 50th anniversary of his death, the Rotary Foundation established the Rotary Peace Centers. There are 2 options for Peace Centers. The first is the master's degree at these 5 universities around the world. Each center selects and trains Peace Fellows for 15 to 24 months based on the ability they will have to make a significant positive impact on world peace and conflict resolution during their future careers. The Professional Development Certificate is a 12-month course for seasoned professionals to gain practical skills to promote peace in their communities. Each year, Rotary awards 50 Master Degree Fellows and 80 Fellows for the 12-month certificate program. Our District 5100 group, who visited East Africa in March, visited and met with the Fellows at Makerere University in Kampala. Since the program began 20 years ago, the Rotary Peace Centers has over 1,800 alumni in more than 140 countries around the world, and 95% of these now serve as leaders in governments, NGOs, education and research institutions, peacekeeping and law enforcement agencies, and international organizations like the United Nations and the World Bank, to name a few. Rotary's involvement in polio eradication began in 1979 with a 5-year commitment to provide and help deliver polio vaccine to 6 million children in the Philippines. In the next 4 years, similar 5-year commitments were approved for Haiti, Bolivia, Morocco, Sierra Leone, and Cambodia. In the early 1980s, Rotary began planning for the most ambitious program in our history to eradicate polio. And since 1985, Rotary and our partners have helped reduce the number of cases from 350,000 annually across 125 countries to 39 so far this year, 9 in Afghanistan and 30 in Pakistan. And we remain committed until the disease is completely eradicated. So to pay for all these wonderful programs and projects of the Rotary Foundation, we need to raise the money. We ask all of our clubs to monitor and ensure yearly annual fund giving and Polio Plus giving, and advocate for endowment fund through wills, trusts, gifts as major donors to the Rotary Foundation. Every member is asked to contribute something to the Rotary Foundation every year. We call that every Rotarian every year. How clever is that? The minimum ask is $25. Those donations of $25 to $50 raise over $5 to $6 million every year. Yet Rotary International reports that only 31% of members do that worldwide. A sustaining member donates at least $100 every year. That averages to only $8.50 every month. In comparison, how much do we spend on our specialty coffee drinks, or our streaming services, or even a breakfast sandwich? Giving should feel good, and we encourage Rotarians to give from your heart at whatever your capacity is. The 3 main funds, sometimes called our giving buckets, are annual fund share. This is money that we spend every year on our projects and programs. Polio Plus, money that is spent every year on polio eradication, and the endowment fund. This is money that's never spent, but proceeds from the investments go to the World Fund for programs and projects managed by the foundation trustees or by the donors. And this endowment fund provides almost $26 million every year in spendable income. So from that modest start of $26.50, last year's total income was $560 million, including contributions, return on investment, and other income. We've been working on a goal of raising $2.025 billion for endowment by 2025. How clever is that? It was announced at the Rotary International Convention in Calgary on June 24th that we've actually exceeded our goal, and we are at $2.05 billion. All of this makes me proud to be a Rotarian, and I hope it does you too. This is why we're Rotarians. This is a big part of how we make a difference. So I'm sure you are wondering and saying to yourself, How can I be part of making sure this good work goes on for years to come? And I am happy to tell you. How do we give? The easiest way is through Rotary Direct, which is Rotary's recurring giving program for your checking account or credit card. Pick a fund, the annual fund share, Polio Plus, or both. Select your frequency, monthly, quarterly, or annually, or you can go to the Rotary website, and there is a donate button on every single page. You can make that single E-Ray donation or sign up for recurring donations through Rotary Direct. It's the simplest way, and once you do it, you never miss the money. So if you're not already contributing to our foundation, or you want to step it up a notch, make a donation or sign up for Rotary Direct today. We have many generous and committed donors to the Rotary Foundation in our district. Many started small and increased their donations as they were able, and many are just consistent over time. And these are the numbers as of June 30th. Our district led the world for many years as #1 in Rotary Direct monthly automatic giving. We're now at 522 members, still #1 per capita, but we slipped from that #1 spot in the world a couple of years ago. Every Rotarian every year are those who have given at least $25. Those who have donated $1,000 are called Paul Harris Fellows after the founder of Rotary, and we have 1,700. We have 2,812. Those who have pledged to give $1,000 every year are called Paul Harris Society members. You'll note that there are 13 more eligible than have actually signed the pledge. I can help you with that. Just because you donate it doesn't mean that you're a member of the society. You need to join. You can see the other giving levels on this slide. We saw an increase in Bequest Society members last year due to the Shoot for the Moon campaign and event. Those are promises that will benefit our projects years into the future. Those who are Paul Harris Society members, major donors, and Bequest Society members are given the recognition of Triple Crown Donor. Shoot for the Moon also had a positive effect on those numbers. We now have 164 members of our district who have pledged $100 a year to Polio Plus until that job is done. So how did we do in District 5100 last year? We exceeded our goals for both annual fund and Polio Plus. Here we see we had 40% of our members give at the E-Ray level, above that international average of 31%, but well below every Rotarian. Just think what we would have for our projects if every Rotarian in our district gave something to the Rotary Foundation every year. You may have heard about our Shoot for the Moon campaign last fall. President Stephanie Urchik joined us for the evening and shared her thoughts on the future of Rotary. Our goal was to raise $1 million in new gifts to the Rotary Foundation. We had 38 Rotarians answer the call to make that major gift or bequest of $10,000 or more that they might have been thinking about giving anyway. So we're happy to announce we exceeded our goal. We doubled our goal. So we hit it over the moon. You'll find a full team of committee members to answer your questions regarding giving, recognition, grants, peace, and Polio Plus on our district website. A member of my club says Rotary doesn't do anything. Rotarians do. What you do makes a difference for the people we serve in the world. Thank you for everything you do. On behalf of the people helped by the projects funded by the Rotary Foundation, who you will likely never meet and who won't be able to say thank you personally, I say thank you.